Hello and welcome to our Froala AMA series, your go-to resource for diving deep into the world of Froala. I'm Carl, the PMM for Froala, and I'll be guiding you through this exciting journey. In this series, we're going to explore the ins and outs of Froala, a powerful and versatile WYSIWYG editor that's transforming the way we think about web content creation. So, whether you're a seasoned developer or a curious beginner, or maybe somewhere in between, this series will be something for everyone. So, in this webinar, we'll tackle the most frequently asked questions, demonstrate key features, and unveil tips and tricks to enhance your editing experience. So, if you're eager to master Froala or you just want to see what it's all about, you're in the right place. So, let's embark on this journey together, uncovering the full potential of Froala one question at a time. So, one of the first questions that I have collected is how can I customize the toolbar? So, Froala offers customization for your toolbar to cater to how many buttons you want here. So, it can be as little as possible, or if you want everything here, it's possible. If you click on JS Fiddle, it will point you to this page, and then it will show you how to basically do it. But for demonstration's sake, I pasted it here in my code editor for Froala. So basically, I installed it via CDN. There are multiple options on how to install Froala, but for time's sake and for the short demonstration, I just installed it via CDN. It works for a local environment. But obviously, if you're going to use it as a real project, you're going to have to check on other options, which we do have instructions for. So in this case, I just copied this JavaScript code and then added it here, which basically just says that it's initializing the editor here as Froala editor, and then the toolbar buttons. So this is important that they should be here, and what the toolbar buttons should be in. So I have this open in a live server, which you can see here. You can type anything here, anything, and you can make it bold, italicize, the usual. So the custom toolbar can be as many and as little as you want. So for example, I'm going to comment this out, and then I'll just keep it bold. So for whatever reason you want the toolbar to be just as bold, to just show the bold button, it's here. The others will be removed. And then if you want to have all of these, you can just uncomment that, and then it's going to be here. So it's as easy as that. You can also check on custom buttons later, but since it's in another question, I'll have it there. But as you see here, the buttons are separated by brackets. So you'll see it in action here that there's a small space between the buttons. So for example, if I just remove this and then just keep it like that in just one bracket, you'll see that it's all here. So those brackets are just for formatting's sake. So if you're curious why some of them are separated, it's because of these brackets. So the next question closely ties to the first question, which is how do you do the custom button? So Froala offers a custom button to the editor, and I believe that this is one of the most important ones because it can be as basic as, for example, alerting you a hello message, inserting an HTML, and then clearing it. So these are very, very, very basic demonstrations of how powerful the custom button can be. It can even be, I don't know, creating an API call to OpenAI's GPT-4. So it can closely tie to your business workflow to cater to you as much as possible. So again, for demonstration's sake, let's go to JS Fiddle, and then let's copy this and then paste it into the editor. I already have it pasted here. So I'm going to add the buttons here, insert, and then insert. And I'm going to go back to the live server. Again, it's working here, manual HTML, and I'm going to clear it. So same logic works as before. If you just want, so for example, if you just want to clear HTML, you can just remove the buttons here, the ones that you don't need, and then save it, go to the live server again, and then still there. So how does this work? So let's go to how the clear button works. We have a documentation for this, but basically it's this, initializing it as the clear button. So we're defining the icon as clear, and then the name for remove, SVG key for remove, registering it as a command. So Froala acknowledges that, hey, this is a custom button and its name is clear. So what you add here and these things and these ones, so clear should be the same. So Froala recognizes that this is the clear button, and then some JavaScript code that says that anything in the editor should be cleared. The next question is about accessibility. It says that, how does Froala ensure content accessibility? So Froala, we are section 508 compliant. So anything that falls under the section 508, we are compliant. So for example, keyboard shortcuts, having alt attributes, and we already have different icons for every feature. For example, for keyboard shortcuts, we have a page for that as well. So for inline editors, common actions like copying and pasting, selecting everything with Control A or Command A if you're using Mac. And then this is the basic toolbar, something you'd see with, for example, Microsoft Word or Google Docs. We are compliant. So let's head on over to the full featured editor. So you'll get this one if you download the editor and then unzip it and get to the full featured. So I'm going to press Control and A, and it's going to select everything. Control C and then Control V. I'm going to press Control I, Control U. So everything that's section 508, we are compliant. So for example, with images, we can have alternative text. So for SEO purposes as well, or obviously if the image doesn't load, we have an alt text. So it says here an old clock, but so for example, an iPad on a table with a coffee, a cup beside it. I'm going to update this one by clicking update, and then we cannot see it here, but Froala does offer Codeview, which I will go on into another question, but for demonstrations purposes, as you can see, we added it here, and then we offer a Codeview. So when I click this, it will show the HTML version of this one. The text, the list, the table, and the link. So clicking Codeview, you can see here that this is the image, and then the alt text shows it here, an iPad on a table with a coffee beside it, and then the other content within the editor previously in HTML form, which is a really cool thing. So for example, if you're really not that good with HTML first or just learning, you can test it with Froala, and then we'll do it for you. So the next question that we have here is, how do I enable Codeview? I assume this is the Codeview plugin. So this is a really good question, because most if not the plugin related questions that we have is how do you enable it? So in this instance, we'll work with the Codeview plugin. Well, basically the Codeview plugin it enables view and edit of the HTML code behind the content. So it says here it's under the More Misc menu. Let's go into the JS Fiddle demo. As you can see here, you can play around with this code, and then if you click on More Misc and then Codeview, you'll see that there are underlined tags under the content that is underlined, and then strong tags under the content that is bolded. So how do you enable it? First things first, you need to install it, either by plugging in via the Codeview min.js inside the JS plugins folder if you downloaded Froala via the zip file, or for demonstrations purposes we can use a CDN, and let's make sure to add it on top of the heading. So for example, in this one I already added it here. This is the CDN for the Codeview, and then you need to have the Codeview enabled. So for it to be enabled, you need to set the property of plugins enabled, and then add what plugins you want to enable. So in this instance, this is the Codeview. This says that, hey, enable the Codeview in the Froala editor. So let's go to the live server. So for example, let's test this out. Testing. And then I'm going to bold this, and then click on Codeview. You can see that it's working. So you just need to make sure that the plugin's enabled, it has a Codeview in it, and then make sure as well that it's installed, so it will work once you load the editor. So the next question is, can you demonstrate text formatting options in Froala? So this is a bit of a vague question, but I think I can demonstrate what Froala can do. So for example, in this case, I am in the full featured version of Froala. So basically what Froala offers, it's in this editor. You can see this if you downloaded Froala via the zip file, and then just choose full featured. You can see the examples here, and just use full featured. So it says Latin. So for example, in this one, you can have it bold, and then you can have like adding ordered lists, unordered lists, and you can see the red squiggly lines here because there is a spell checker involved. So the previous question was about the Codeview, but if you click on the Codeview here, you can see the content in Codeview. So anything you want. So for example, you want to insert a table, a 3x3 table. Then there's also an inline formatting if you click on the table cells. So you can set this as a table header 1, and then 2, and 3, and then if you want this maybe to be centered. So basically anything you would want. So for example, this one, if you want to dash the borders, you can change the table style, you can change the cell style, the horizontal align. If you want to remove it, tables are one of the, I guess, the most used functions for Froala, because everything right now is tables. And then there's also emoticons or emojis if you want to add it here. Special characters if you want to upload a file, insert a horizontal line. So this doesn't really restrict Froala into just these formatting options. You can mix and match with custom buttons, as I have demonstrated in the previous questions. So really, the sky is the limit with how you can format Froala or format your content using Froala, and it's really pretty. Yeah, the editor is pretty, so you won't have to look at ugly editors or when you or your users would use Froala. You can insert a video, insert a link. There's also some paragraph styles. So for example, you can have a bordered paragraph style, spaced. You want to increase the indent. So yeah, the sky is the limit with formatting with Froala. So the next question is, I think, is a quick one. Is what are Froala's capabilities for handling hyperlinks? Again, let's go to the full featured editor, and it's here. You can insert link using Control K or by just clicking here. So let's add some text here. This opens in a new tab. This doesn't. So for example, let's go to this page and highlight what we want. So you can see once I highlighted the text, it gives me an option to what link we should go to, and it also adds the text here. And if I click this one or mark this one as checked, it will open in a new tab. So I add it there, and then if I press again like insert link, and then I won't open new tab, I'll insert it here. So once you click this and it says open link, I'll go to the plugin, and then there are also some options here, the inline options. So you can unlink it, you can edit the link, you can change the style from blue to green, and if you want it thick, but yeah. So you can also just click this one, but obviously this will just go to the page without going to the other page. So that's how you handle links with Froala. So for the next question is, can you show how to use table editing features in Froala? So I demonstrated it before, but you can go even more in depth. So let's go to the full featured editor again. So you can see once you click a cell, it shows you if you want to add a table header, a table footer, if you want to remove the table, if you want to add a row above or below. So let's add some table headers and some table footer. And then if you want the table style to have an alternate rows, if you want the cell to have a vertical split, and here, so it's going to split it. You want to change the cell background, so for example, let's make this orange, and then let's make this one green, which kind of looks nice. So you can have a vertical align with top, middle, or bottom. So for example, you add some text here. If you want to align it center, right, or want to justified, vertical align, bottom aligned. Cell style, if you want to be highlighted or thick. So you can see that it's highlighted once you remove it. When you remove your mouse, focus. And that's basically it. There's a lot and lots of things that you can do with the table editing features for Froala. So for example, I added a row above this one, and then it's still remember that the top row is split, and we want to remove it entirely. And then if you want to put it back, you can just press Ctrl Z, and then it's going to be there. So that's it. Thank you all for joining us today in this engaging AMA session with Froala. Your participation and questions is always invaluable, and Remember to stay tuned as we will be bringing you more videos showcasing the exciting features of Froala. Until next time, keep exploring Froala and let me know if you have any more questions. And have a nice day.